3, 2, 1.
Some gets to her. Kira, see what you can do.
There we go.
And you see this. Can you do anything about this? You're not in the frame.
She is.
Okay, you are.
Still, now you're not.
Okay, good.
Wait, move your leg back a little. Yeah.
Michelle's type wall.
That's perfect if you can hold
Okay,
that.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Alright, and in 3, 2, 1, action.
You don't find nothing?
Found a house, but there was a girl.
This is an American slate. For some reason you like to change shot numbers into letters, which is a bit odd to me. But whatever works for you. What we are going to do is cut it right here, have the scene number here, the shot number here, and hopefully we can live happily together. Here we are on the second day of the shoot. We are setting up for the first shot of 15 for today.
You loosen it, you tighten it back up before you put it back.
Ready to go on the Dana Dolly, and I hope we start soon and we'll have marvelous footage to show you.
Awesome. Bill, you want to say hi to our producer Ross Denier in Los Angeles?
Hey, hi Ross, how you doing?
This is Bill Stoms, one of our PAs, one of our camera grips. George Winchell, our gaffer and associate producer. Say hi to Ross.
Hi Ross, I'm thirsty.
Yeah, he's looking thirsty. You're making me thirsty too, George. Victoria, say hi to Ross Denier in Los Angeles.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, I bet you're going to be seeing her a lot on the slate. She's been our slate person the whole time and a total champion.
What else did you do today?
The monitor away, didn't tighten the top.
What else did you do besides slate?
Oh, the color.
Yeah.
Color checker.
All right, so there you go, Ross. We got the color checker and the slate. A true champion in Victoria.
So my name is George Winchell, and I was gaffer and associate producer on the film 1805. I think for anybody who's been doing this a long time, and I have, wanting to work with another contemporary that's creative, that if anything is better and will challenge and push you, is probably the goal that anyone should strive for. Getting paid and making a living is important, but when I first heard about the project and I asked, who was the DP and the kind of work that was done, I was just blown away because Down the River was a very good-looking film, and I would have thought it had a lot bigger crew and a lot more money. And when I found out it was basically one man's vision and one man's work, that was somebody that I go, I want to work with them. I'm going to learn. I'm going to feel like I walk away from the project going, I'm better at what I do because I worked with that type of person.
Okay? יאללה. זה גם פשוט יהיה לי סיקוון טקי. יאללה, בוא נמשיך, אנחנו רצים עדיין. אז תזרוק את הסיגריה. כן. אבל עשית עושה הכל זה מצוין. אז תזרוק את הסיגריה.
תזרוק אליה. כן. אבל בכל זאת,
כן. כן.
אגב, אפשר לעשות את הסיגריה.
The thing I didn't know before is what's very interesting, because it's the first time I've worked with someone who was not local, American even. I think I learned that filmmaking truly is universal. Granted, we somewhat speak the same language, but the ability to relate to somebody that you have nothing in common with, we come from the other side of the world, it really restored my faith in, filmmaking is a craft, and it takes a family of people to do a good job. And I think when people all believe in the creativity, the ability to storytell, because you hear about that in interviews and you go, yeah, that's just people saying the things, but it really is true. I think working with someone like Roz and Dan, who put together a team that believed in the project, not just, well, I can afford this person or I can't afford that person. I wanted the right people to do it. The most surprising part, because I've never been an associate producer on anything, is when I met Dan and we first talked about working together, and he realized I did know a lot of the local people. I had a lot more experience than he did. Being offered that was a challenge that I really enjoyed, because as I said earlier about putting together the right people for the job and that have the right belief, the right work ethic, which you don't find as much anymore in low-budget filmmaking, was really important. And I really appreciated the confidence, because that was the first time I met Dan, even though his father was my eye doctor for many years. We hit it off, and I think that brought a lot to the production that would not have been there had Dan just piecemealed a hired gun crew for this project.
It's been an amazing day. We are out of words, really. It's been a real pleasure to work with every single one of you. I'm in love with each and every one of you.
I've never heard Roz say something like that in his entire life. It's maybe the most emotional statement he's ever made. The dude's a robot. But, seriously, guys, I mean, I know a lot of you came on to do this project because, you knew what we were capable of in our team in Israel, but we didn't have anything like you guys.
Hi, my name is Gregory Ressetar, and I was the first assistant camera on 1805.
Does it need batteries? Does it need to be switched to battery? Oh, is there a battery? I don't know. Wait, is there a plug?
Greg and I have been friends a long time, and we've worked together, but never for each other, which is interesting. And in this case, I had never worked with Greg as a camera assistant. I knew the work he'd done. In my head, I go, well, he must be competent or nobody would hire him. But I was asking somebody to do something well beyond what one person should be able to do.
Well, George contacted me about this film being shot in Lancaster, and during COVID, not much was being done at all. And I was totally out of work and willing to do something, and it turned out to be a great film.
As much as it was scary saying, hey, Dan, I've got this guy and I know he's good, and he's probably the best person I could recommend in this area, he went above and beyond doing what he shouldn't have been able to do with what we had. There's much easier ways to full focus and control all of that, but it was like, Greg, you're going to have to pull focus while we're panning and zooming and it's hot and we got to carry equipment through the woods. And oh, by the way, you're going to do this on the first day. And he nailed it. So it's nice when your friends do a good job. It's even nicer when they do better than expected.
I have my fog machine for fogging the scene so that you can get the light rays.
You're speaking our language right now, Victoria. Fog machines are the shit.
Oh my god, best purchase I ever made.
Oh, we did it too. It was like a 2-day rental equal to 1-day purchase. So.
I think when you're a DP, you care first and foremost about the tools you have to create the project with. And then when you're a producer, you care first and foremost about whether I can afford those tools. And Roz had very high aspirations. He wanted to shoot on an Amira or an Alexa, which is very expensive. But he also had worked on with much less and done a wonderful job before. I had experience with Blackmagic cameras, which for the money are amazing cameras and have an amazing look. Because Roz and I could both talk to the pros and cons of each, we settled on Blackmagic, which was within the budget and allowed us to get the lens that we wanted. And that kind of creativity is not based on the equipment. Most cameras, most pieces of equipment will do a good job. It's just having ones that do the right job. I had never before worked with a 10-to-1 zoom lens in video. It's very rare we even work with zoom lenses in video anymore. And it opened up a whole new world of the possibilities of creating a visual that changed within the frame without moving the camera. And then the second part is moving the camera. Dan originally wanted to go with a dolly that weighs about the same as a small car, which trying to bring to the locations, I think I must have told him from the very beginning it probably wasn't going to work, but I would try. And then the further we went on looking at locations, I realized it's not going to work no matter what we do. But it forced us to kind of be creative, and we wound up deciding, you know what, we can go with the Dana dolly, and it will allow us much more flexibility and creativity. Roz was really into the idea. And then Dan said, oh, but we want to do like a really long 24-foot Dana dolly. And I Googled that, and nothing comes up. So I'm not sure if anybody in their right mind ever wanted to do that before, but we pulled it off. We got 8-foot sections of track, so we had 3 sections of track put together, and it took probably the longest of any setup to build, but it was well worth it. It was just an amazing shot. A testament to Roz's skill on camera that we were dollying and zooming and panning all in one really long shot. So from the geek side of this business, we had fun toys to play with, and it really it created a look that probably far exceeds the budget.
Using a zoom lens along with dolly moves and character movements, the focus is changing all over the place. And the key to pulling focus is to make sure people don't see focus is being pulled. It's supposed to be seamless, hidden, no one sees it. And that one shot we did, that house with a 20-foot long dolly, starting with the person with the cart and on his feet.
Go. Set.
3, 2, 1.
Zooming out, going wider, panning across, then zooming back in. Multi-levels of focus pulls.
Bothama run off in the night.
Of course it's him. Do you have any idea how much he's worth? This is a seller's market.
This film put my skills to the test. Using that 25 to 250 zoom, the way Roz was using it, telephoto in there, the depth of field could be so shallow. It really made things very challenging on focus. That first shot we did of the main character running up the hill. Because usually you can measure out with the tape measure of what you're doing, but that was like a really steep incline, about 100 feet, I believe, something like that. And he came up different ways each time, coming up to the top of the hill. At least we had his mark at the top of the hill, so I got a focus mark on that. But having to pull focus with him coming up that hill was the most challenging shot I've ever had to pull focus on. At 250 millimeter on a lens, and your f-stop is, probably 3.5, I think that lens went to. Depth of field is probably no more than 3 feet at the most, maybe even shallower than that. And he's coming up that hill and he's moving different directions back and forth. My focus charts wouldn't even be able to figure that out. You just had to visually watch it, and it was tricky, very tricky.
Come on, don't slow down. Keep going, push yourself. Chasing you.
The night scene in the river, which went till very late with more bugs than I have probably ever seen in my life. But it was the first time we actually got to light something. And that for me was very challenging and exciting because we had to light it literally in the dark. And then as we put lights up, then we could see. And Roz was very, very particular, even to the point of getting like a little bit of light on the leaves right here because I'm going to do a pan off of this. So I did enjoy that. Most of the other film was just reflectors, bounce, dealing with just controlling and working with the sunlight. But this was a chance to actually create a look. And we did scout it, and then it turned out the scout didn't kind of live up to its promise on the day, and we wound up having to change very quickly. There was originally the possibility of canoes and generators, and that luckily went away. We thought, you know what, we're going to put a big heavy light stand right in the middle of the river, and we're going to hang a boom arm out, and we're going to suspend a China ball from it and create moonlight, and it was gorgeous. I think we actually had to have a PA standing by the light stand to make sure it didn't fall over. But that's one of the beauties of now having LED lights where you don't need a lot of power. You can run a very bright light off of a generator. But that was very satisfying because we literally, if we turned off our lights, it was pitch black. There was no light. Everything you see in that scene was created. And nobody would say, oh, that's overlit, underlit. It was just lit beautifully.
Yeah, that night scene with them swimming in the water and the lights in the water, that was another very challenging focus pull. Well, once we had the actors in the water, and the water was a little cold, and it was about, 2 in the morning, and I know they didn't want to be in there that long, so we're trying to get that shot set up, and then making sure I get that last mark on those leaves. And once I hit that, and I knew I had the other shots, I knew it was going to work.
Having done a lot of productions, everything from ones where I really felt this is an amazing project to ones where I wish I could go home now because it's so bad on set and these people have no idea what they're doing. This will definitely rank in the top of the projects I've gotten to do, and the care and consideration that went into the storytelling and to making it a good film. It's always a challenge when you don't have the money, the people, the time. And doesn't always turn out well, but from a personal standpoint, I would say, if your only concern is making a living in this business, you better be really good or you're going to be really disappointed. But if your concern is walking away from a project going, you know what, I'm really proud I was a part of that project, work with people who you do believe in what they're doing and that technically, artistically, and creatively, you can push back and challenge them and know whether or not they are on the same page as you are for what you want to do. We had the worst conditions with heat and location, lack of crew, and yet the camaraderie and the end result is better than what it should have been for what we had. And those kind of experiences in anyone's career are great. You have to make feature films and you see your name up in the movie screens, but not everybody gets to do that. So a project like this, or any project where you really feel like it was exceptional, it is worth it. And even if you have to do 10 really bad, shitty projects to get there, the one you do that like this does make it worthwhile.
This is the I Don't Care clock.